It's 21st of September. It's the International Peace Day. And on this day, we are talking to lots of various inspirational speakers and the change makers. And I'm having a big honor and pleasure of introducing to you Dr. Sunitha Krishnan and talking to her today. She's an Aurora Prize hero, a human rights activist, and a co-founder of, I hope I wouldn't butcher the name, Prajvala or Eternal Flame. And that's a non-profit organization that combats the commercial sexual exploitation by rescuing, rehabilitating, and re-entering the victims of trafficking into the society. Her organization has impacted the lives of over 17,800 women and children. And Dr. Sunitha is an Aurora Prize hero, and it's a big honor talking to her today. I'm Ekaterina, UWC Dilijan alumni, and I would be interviewing Dr. Sunitha. So I've had a couple of questions about the amazing work you've done, and we would all, there is a lot of material online, but we would all love to hear more from you. And the first question that I've had is, how does your local and the international overall community react to your project, to your nonprofit, and to the work that you've been doing?
So namaste to everybody. It is wonderful to be here. And Ekterina, you have not butchered our name. It is Prajwala. And yes, you've got it right. And you say it beautifully. Very Russian, but it sounds very nice. I'm equally delighted to speak today and have a conversation with you all on the World Day for Peace. You know, and I would like to open my statement that there cannot be world peace without justice. Peace and justice are interconnected, and so I work on an issue which has caused much injustice in the world for millions of women and children. It's a form of modern day slavery, and it has been responsible for destroying the lives of millions across the world, not just in India. So the work, my work involves fighting an organized crime, which is the second largest organized crime in the world and $1 billion industry. So if you ask me what is the response of the local community and the international community, I would say, you know, I would divide the responses in two parts. Those who get, adversely impacted or damaged by my work, locally or internationally, are always unhappy with me. And those who are positively impacted by my life, my work, are happy with me. So, whether it is locally or internationally, I face the same problem. At one end, a lot of abuses, a lot of threats, intimidation, and a lot of resistance to my work. At another end, a lot of acceptance, a lot of sensitivity, a lot of empathy for what I'm doing. So, you know, both happens at the same time. Organizations like Aurora's, for example, are, you know, have internationally acknowledged my work and, you know, and said that we are doing it right. So those kind of organizations become the reason for the sustenance of our work. But at the same time, there would be other organizations internationally again who would say, no, this is not something right, and this is very violative, and, you know, this is very protectionist. And both of it happens at the same time. But definitely, On the local front, when you get hit very hard because it's directly in front of you. So when somebody comes and abuses right in front of you and say, you are that and you're this and, you're not to be there, it really hits you hard. Uh, Whereas when people from far away say that, say in the United States or in London, it reaches you slowly. So it doesn't hit you hard. So I would say, the response to our work is both acceptance and rejection.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. You've and you've kind of started mentioning that um, you face rejection from. You face a lot of acceptance, and sometimes you face rejection from international and local community, and that's not an easy thing to deal with. What are some of the and the question is along these lines: what are some of the biggest challenges that you face in your work and that your organization faces as well?
I think the biggest challenge that we face in our work is the attitude of the society, which
Mm-hmm.
is unwilling to accept a victim. And when this attitude, and when I say society, it means that it is the same people in the society who will go into the police. It is the same people in that society who will go into the judiciary. It's the same people in the society who go into the, to become politicians. So, it is safe for me to say the social attitude that is my biggest problem, because that social, attitude, when it becomes the government, it means that, there's a larger rejection of the victim from the government level to which percolates down. So I think the social attitude of victimizing a victim and looking at her as somebody who deserves that violation, and somebody who should who should just remain there because it is her fate, you know and there's no way that she should exit from that situation. That, I think, is my greatest challenge. Somebody has kept their audio on. They should
Yeah, there's
mute their audio. Mm.
sweet. They just turned it on. Seeing so many horrible things and this negative social attitude that happens, uh, not often, but it present. Um, and the rejection of those who you save by the society. What uh, what helps you go on and find strength every day? How it's a beautiful work that you're doing, but it's also incredibly and profoundly intense and full of lots of challenges. What helps you keep your strength?
I think while I am constantly witness to rejection and ostracization and marginalization, I'm also witness to extraordinary miracles. Miracles of young people going through the worst of humanity, young people who have seen the worst in their life, yet having the capacity to forgive and move on, yet having the ability to smile and be, their generosity of the spirit gives them the strength to smile and actually build trust with people like me. That, I think, becomes my greatest strength, because it amazes me every day. Meaning, if she, who has gone through so much, can smile and trust me, I cannot get discouraged or uh, derailed by somebody's negativity about us. you know if she has so much of positivity in spite of going through so much of negative experience, we have not even gone through 0.1% of what she has gone through. Just imagine a life in a brothel, for example, where you're getting raped by 20 and 30 men every day, for days together, weeks together, months together, years together. And then somebody comes and removes you from that space and provides you a place of thing. Why would you trust that person? Why would you even look at that person as somebody whom you can rely upon or somebody whom you can believe in? But this girl, this child does it. And that is a miracle I see every day. That is my greatest strength. And when I'm able to bring back that smile on their faces, I think that gives me energy, inspiration, motivation to last for a lifetime. So I'm blessed that I see it every day. So every day I'm pumped with more energy, you know. So every day new energy comes into me because I see every day so many wonderful human beings who have uh, overcome the injustices that they have gone through. They made peace with themselves and they're moving, moving on.
That's really, really wonderful to hear, and absolutely fascinating how resistant and strong human spirit can be. And it's great that people can um, be so strong, go through all this uh, incredibly terrible hardships and misfortunes, and um, get back to life and enjoy it and smile at simple things. It's mesmerizing. Um, you mm, kind of started talking about um, the life of the women who go through human trafficking and how horrible this whole industry is, and spirit breaking, like aims at breaking people's spirit, and they try to really, really preserve it. And every year millions of people get involved in human trafficking, and while there are so many organizations that uh, save and help these people, the number is astonishingly terrifying. Why do you think the um, saving industry is so far behind exploitation industry? And
I
that's a
think,
bit of a tough and kind of
yeah,
political question as well.
no, no, it's a very, very appropriate question. I think when one needs to understand that, um, the biggest crisis the world faces today is not the evil that surrounds us, but the silence of the good ones. And that is what all of us go through, because no singular organization or a few organization cannot change the entire course of trafficking. It is only when the social will come to end this, the political will come to end this, that is when this will end, because that's when the exploiters as a whole will understand that this is not done and this is not acceptable. Right now, the problem we face is we have a few organizations like mine across the world who are fighting this, but the larger good people are just watching it silently. You know, they're just happy. Oh, Sunitha Krishnan Prajwala is there; she's doing it. They don't understand that one Sunitha Krishnan or one Prajwala cannot do the magic. You know, nor can few Sunitha Krishnans and few Prajwalas. What is required is a mass collective will. Each, each and every individual in this global community, in the local community, everywhere has to take a decision that we will not allow this to happen. We will not allow our women and children to get sold. We will not allow them to get bought. you know Now, say if you look at the sex trafficking industry, while there are buyers and sellers at the first stage, where you say you get a girl from Yerevan and maybe sell her to to Italy, you know. After that, buying and selling is over. Every day, buying is going on, and that buying is going on by hundreds and thousands of men across the world. You know, that demand is generated by us. Who are these men? They're not people coming from, say, Venus or Jupiter or Mars. They are men coming from our own families. They are our fathers, they are our brothers, they are our boyfriends, they are our husbands, they are our uncles. So until and unless we don't change things in our own families, and we don't bring a social will to say that this has to end, till that time this will not end, because some few organization cannot make the magic. I am very, very clear with it. Because when the social will come, then the political will come. Today, what is happening politically across the world is a lot of lip servicing. Everybody says, you know, the right things about, you know, ending trafficking. Everybody says the right words, but how many are really investing and ensuring that this does not happen? You know, that comes from political will. So I would say a combination of political will and social will is the only way that we, the saving industry, will become more powerful and more larger than the exploitative industry.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, thank you. Um, Another question that I had, and kind of connected to it, do you think, is it helpful for organization such as yours to work together with other different organizations despite the social cultural differences? And what are some of the differences that you've encountered, and what are some of the similarities? um, do you collaborate with other foundations helping victims of human trafficking?
We do work with several organizations internationally, collaborate for ensuring that, you know, at one level we collaborate to share information, to you know, participate in a kind of a shared learning process. But another level is actually working on victim assistance. So if there is a girl from Uzbekistan or say Azerbaijan or Serbia coming to India, you know, I will then work with my partners in Uzbekistan and Serbia and Azerbaijan to ensure that the victim gets all kinds of services which will help her get back her life in motion. Having said that, you know, the problems across the world, there's some, the problem is global, you know, but the solutions are all local. So human trafficking is common to every country, but the reasons why it is happening in one country might differ from another country. You know, like in my country, if poverty and socio-cultural issues are the reason for girls getting trafficked, for example, maybe in the United States it's the penetration of technology that is the reason for trafficking of young girls, you know. Or somewhere else it is maybe the civil war, or it is the social unrest that is pushing people to be trafficked. So, you know, the reason may vary, but what a victim goes through across the world is the same. It's the same pain of violation. It is the same pain of being, you know, reduced to a commodity and an object. It is the same pain of getting your body, mind, and soul shattered by you know, very, very evil forces. And the pain of that and the mutilation of self that happens due to that is same across the world. And therefore, across the world, the need to provide holistic victim services is very common. the need to ensure that victims have a space for recovery, victims have a enabling therapeutic environment to get back a is kind of a sense of their agency and their identity, that is common, you know. But how the victim landed in this place could be different in different places. We work with several partners across the world on ensuring that the, the services that we have provided here in India continues in their respective country.
Thank you. We have a couple of more minutes left, and I really, really want to ask one more question. And that is, what sort of support would you ask from people who want to help? And another one along these lines, if I want to help, what can I personally do?
There are two things I would ask everybody to do. One is, wherever you are, understand that you can change a lot of things by engaging with men and boys around you. They could be your sons, they could be your fathers, they could be your friends, they could be any man for that matter. So, engaging with them and changing their attitude about how they view a woman's body, a child's body, is something that each one of us can do wherever we are sitting. That is going to be such a big game changer, because small things like consuming porn, for example, it's just a thrill. You just do it. You do it because it just gives you temporary happiness. You want consume pornography, you're also creating a sexual culture, which makes one person to control their desires, another person who wants to actualize that desire, so both happens at the same time. So the person who wants to actualize goes around seeking where to buy it. So sometimes he wants to buy a child, sometimes he wants to buy a young girl, sometimes he wants to buy a young man. And that is why it is very important that we address this issue of demand. And that is something that each one of us can do wherever we are. The second thing that each one of us can do wherever we are is that, you know, many of us, people like me, who have taken the courage to fight an organized crime and the organized mafia, we go through so much of threats and intimidation. And, safe space for us is shrinking. And a day comes where you start feeling as if you can't do the work anymore. you know People make it so difficult for you to do that work. And it is for all of them, all fellow crusaders like me across the world, that I kind of want to appeal to each one of you all in your local community, in your local district, your country. When you find organizations who are doing similar work, who are doing this kind of work, please stand by them, support them. you know um, Maybe it is €1 or £1 or $1 or whatever currency you know of. If you have that €1, if you can spare it to them, give it to them, because that is a huge support. You will not understand, because you will think this is just $1 or €1, but for that person who is going around begging and borrowing that €1 to do this work, that is one problem less in their life. So do what you can to support crusaders like me across the world. Do it in your local community. You don't need to help Prajwala, but what you need to see is Prajwala-like organizations in your local community. Help them, support them, stand by them, make them know that the society, the local society is with them, so that their strengths don't get depleted. I think these are two very doable things. You don't need to do anything else. If you can just put your heart in the right place, you will be
Right.
doing it.
Right. We unfortunately ran out of time. Thank you so much for your time, Sunitha.
Thank you.
Thank you to everyone. Please support the organization. Please, uh, everyone who is watching it, I hope this inspires you to go out, find local organizations who combat human trafficking and support them. And as Sunitha said, one small dollar or euro or ruble or whatever, it would make a change, and keep the spreading awareness and de-objectifying women's and humans' bodies. This social work needs to be done. Thank you so much. It's been a great, great pleasure talking to you. Thank you, Sunitha, and thank you to everyone.